Hey everybody, welcome back to Bjornborg. Day 1, gonna resume. This is where we left off yesterday, what were we doing? We were, alright, laying out roads and roughing in some of where stuff's gonna go. We've got the gatherer's pit started. We've got our very first villager snoozing away. And I think I've got a pickaxe, so let's go ahead and start looking for some of the small blood clusters. See if we can't get our second villager here. Blood of my enemy is my enemy. Is my anemone. Is my anemone. Blood of my anemone is my anemone. That's a slow way to gather blood for sure. So Finya's gonna work as a builder right off the bat, and that's good because she's got that gatherer's pit to work on. To make her a gatherer just as soon as she finishes that, so that she can start providing sustenance for herself and others. Boy, here's where you really hope for that bonus piece of blood, right? Like 100% improvement over 1. There we go. There's that bonus we were looking for. Nice. Hey, good. She's working on that pit. Her to work here. Got a gatherer now. Actually, let's set some priorities on that. Let me see. We don't really care about seeds so much at this point, I think. So take everything up to medium and go up here and say seeds can go down, please. Leave everything else where it is. We would love to be getting fiber for sure. Feathers, yes. Eggs, good. Alright, so these already had some disparity. These were already a notch higher than seeds and stuff like that. I didn't even notice. Good deal. I like that. Let's get another villager on the way. Night shift worker and... Alright, well, don't have a problem with a night shift worker, I guess, right off the bat. Let's continue. No, let's do another marker or 3, because rapidly she's going to expand. She's going to expend all of the resources in that initial zone. So let's get together and create a few markers towards the north. One joy about this particular seed is the large amount of room that we have to our north before we run into any sort of mob farms or POIs. So we can really have a large gather area for our people. I don't worry too much about them getting eaten by mobs. Oh, I'm just not seeing the flax, or... There we go. There's some flax. Kakalaka. All the flax. All over here all the time. Flax doesn't really highlight much. Like right there is some sticks, and here's some flax. And when I hit the radar on that, watch how little the flax really changes. You know, that entire thing becomes yellow. This, you just get the yellow flowers. So you really gotta be paying attention when you hit that radar. You're looking for those tiny little yellow flowers. Alright, let's look to the north. Rope. So we've got a marker right here. Gonna put us at right about here for the next one. Hedvig would obviously like a place to live. Work on that here in a second. Flag about that size going here. The next one will be about there. Oh, I can see. I can see the radius. Forgot. All right, here we go. So boom, boom. There we go. Head on up to that one. And let's grab some fish, some scallops or mussels, I think they are, while we're at it. Go here, that'll pick up that peninsula. Sure. Here next to the boat. You won't get a lot of mileage out of this one, but a little bit. I'll ensure a fresh supply of mussels anyways. Nothing wrong with having a few extra mussels. So we'll grab any stones we see on the way back, as well as a drink of water. Go ahead and skip anything that the gatherer is going to pick up. Don't forget, when you're carrying something heavy, if you tap your run key real quick and let it go, you get an unlimited stamina run, which is not quite as fast as a regular run, but it's free. Have a drink. Alright, so food at this point is taken care of. So anytime we want, we can just come over here and go ahead and reload on food. Now let's get some housing up for, who is it? Is Hedvig. Is where the housing is going to go, because we're going to end up destructing this almost right away. Oops. Where's that button? We're going to end up destructing this almost right away in favor of better housing. Hedvig will work on this, and as soon as she gets that done, then I'll go ahead and give her a night shift. I think we're going to leave her as a builder for now. I want to get water trough up next. Unlocks a couple things, I believe. Don't forget, you can click the mouse button to do those things, or you can hit E, but if I click the mouse button, I delete that large stone. So use the E if you don't want to delete the stuff on the ground. Hedvig's working on that. What can we work on that builder's not going to? Nobody's going to be collecting sticks. We need those, so go ahead and grab some. Throw them over in the village, and that way the builder's got access to them. Not until we get a woodcutter up that we're going to have a reliable source of sticks. And after this, I'm going to go ahead and go down into the forest there, right next to the gatherer's hut. That's going to be our primary area of expansion right off the bat. So I'm going to go down there and just start chopping down trees since we don't have a woodcutter yet. That means I'm on deck. They also don't have a source of rope yet. gonna be looking for bark, and I don't know that there's that much of that around. There's just a couple that we just dropped, so let's chop down some trees and give her some options. I think our third person needs to become a woodcutter. The two things that our village needs to expand right off the bat are wood and food. Grateful to the devs for allowing stumps to be taken out with hatchets now. It's really just so much easier. Alright, with that water trough up, we can go ahead and get our first well online so that they have something to drink from. I think at this point, Hedvig has a shelter that we can go ahead and assign. That's a fair bit of resources lying around for her to tap, so at this point she says, hey, I don't have anything to build, I'm just going to hang around here. Fair enough. Go ahead and assign her here, and go ahead and look at schedule. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hours of work. How about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 hours of work. 4, 5, 6, 13. Take that and call that a night shift. Alright, Hedvig's taken care of. We'll be happy. Let's drop down our first well. The thing about water collectors is I can demolish that. If I go ahead and I use my hoe on that or something, it's going to vanish if I move all the dirt out from underneath it and so on. But once it has a well on it, or even a blueprint of a well, then it becomes much more resistant to being destroyed. So, good thing to slap those down on water sources anywhere near your build, anywhere near your town. Because if you demo this, it's gone. And really quickly, the first time I was building a village, I figured out that wells, water supply, that's really the thing that's going to stop you from getting big, or as big as you want. Few more sticks. I really actually don't have to do that. We've got plenty of sticks lying over on the ground. I just sort of blanked on what to do next and defaulted. Let's see here. Drop them with X, it's faster. Here, throw these fiber in here. Seeds, good deal. We've got a little bit of fiber built up, not much. Just focusing on other stuff. Set those priorities and make sure fiber's up there. We've got high on food, I agree, and high on fiber. Because really, we all should be getting more fiber, shouldn't we? Oh, more blood. Pickaxe is in decent shape. Just enough to get some more blood out of it. But, you know what, at this point I think we can we make our first workshop pit yet? No. Because we need all 3 of the pits. So, Gatherer's Pit we put outside. This, if we look at the map, so we're going to have this road coming up here, and we're going to have this road coming here. The Gatherer's Pit out there because it's close to where all the housing is going to be, and that gives a bonus to housing, but the workshop and the woodcutter not so much, or rather the woodcutter and the stone pit not so much. So I'm going to put them out right here. So let's look at a woodcutter right here on this corner. See what we're going to have to move to make that happen, which I think is going to be nothing. I think we can make that work within the trees that I can get rid of, which is going to be this one. That little one there. We'll get rid of at least this one here. We'll level out that spot, and then we'll go ahead and put a woodcutter in here next. Stone cutter, I think we'll be able to get it in that other space. If not, I don't mind demoing the stone cutter pit later. But I think this is going to be a permanent location for one of the woodcutters, so hopefully we're not going to end up redoing what we're doing right now. Your first placement, make sure that's the height you want, because that's the height that all of this is going to be. Do 25 total pieces, so you can do a 5x5, you can do a 2x12, so on. My village design, it's always about starting from a single point, and then everything derives from that point, so you just keep leveling more of the village back to the original point you started with. So you end up with a village that's all on one plane. In this case, that was determined by the height of the mine and the height of really the average of all of the areas I sketched out where the village was going to go in the end, and then I walked that perimeter and marked it on the other map, and I marked all of the water sources inside it to see how many water sources we'd have available once the village was done, and where the final grade height would be, and what that would mean for all of the wells. Would they all be accessible, and so on. So here's our space now inside. We look at this and we can see that we just created this spot right inside the west road and the north-south road. So our woodcutter's going to go right here, which will be this right here. And it doesn't really matter which way he faces. I guess this would be the way to go because, well, actually I can see this being the way to go because he's going to access, they're going to access the V-shaped stuff on the left for bringing in long sticks, and then they're going to access the two close to me the most often rather than the one on the other side. So doing it here puts it accessible from the two roads that it's bordering. Go ahead and pin that. For the stone cutter, we're going to go around on the other side of that, right in front of me here. So, I think can't get rid of any of this stuff. Go ahead and level this out. I'm leveling this because I want that to be the same height as this pathway, which is the same height as everything else. I just go ahead and place that stonecutter's pit right here, say, something like that. It's going to be at the height of more or less where that green arrow is, which is not going to be the same, and I'll show you what I mean. I go here, level this. Then I'll get down here close, and you can see that that's actually up in the air a bit. There's a little bit of a raise there. So I cancel that. Come back here and actually just go ahead and level it to the pathway. If you want to cheat a little bit, you can come here and just level sort of the area where that green arrow is going to be. So now you see how it's coming down. This is the height of the path, which is the height of the rest of the village. So that green arrow is going to be the height of the building. So if you wanted to cheat, like this back right here, I could say, you know what, I'm just, that's enough. I've done the area that matters. Now I'm going to come here and I'm going to go ahead and put the stonecutter's pit in where I was talking about putting it before. Doesn't really want to fit this way, although that's the side that's facing the street. I want it to be available to both. But for now, we'll just put it like this, and but eventually we're going to demo this anyways. Stonecutter's pit is just so that we can get our first workshop up. So right here, now notice this square is what's going to end up driving the height of it, because that's where the arrow was. So now notice I come here, and we're bringing the entire site down to the height of that green arrow. So all you really have to level to the finished grade is the front of the building where the arrow is, and the rest of that site will come down to meet it. That's how I keep the village all on one level, one plane. You can see how smooth our ground is going to be. Will help with that production since there's no rope available. That's what I have in my inventory. I guess I could go over and make some rope and just throw it on the ground. That would be a good idea. He's already got those sticks, I'll bet. Gathering some long sticks. What is that for? A bark lying around. There might not actually be any sticks lying around. I thought I'd chopped down enough trees, but I might have actually burned through all those sticks. So, how about some more sticks? What about more sticks? Give me a stick. Give me a stick. Boy, that wasn't straight, was it? Not even close. Alright, well, we're going to demo it anyways. Let's look at our first workshop. So, the workshops, I want them to go right here, but they're just so big, and we don't have the ability to cut down these trees, all of these trees just yet. So this first workshop I'm going to create, it may end up being a sacrificial workshop entirely, or it may end up working out. I don't know. Here's our east-west road and one of our north-souths. So a workshop right here could fit, and hopefully we can put it up in this little space right here between these trees. I'm thinking I can't get rid of that one, can't get rid of that. Yeah, so it's either going to just have to fit between existing stuff, or we're just going to demo it later. It's just so that we can get a better axe built and a better pickaxe, so that we can actually start to clear some of the bigger stuff. So let's take a look at advanced production workshop pit. Here it is. Yeah, not a chance. Alright, so this first one's going to be sacrificial. We're going to end up throwing it away. Fortunately, we get all the resources back when we demo a building, so it's going to end up working out okay. You can see as I move this back, right now, the height that's at now, as I move it back, you see that it's going uphill because of this piece right here. So again, if I want that to be down at the lower height, all I really have to do, come here and just level like this little section where the arrow is going to be. That's enough right there. Go and put the workshop pit in place. Might as well still line it up anyways, because Buildings make a great leveling tool. You can see how many we got here, which was 5 by 5, which is the max you can get from the normal tool anyways. But they are often more permissive than just using the come on, where is it? There it is. They're often more permissive than using the leveling tool. Like the leveling tool will say, oh, there's a red spot here, you can't level this spot. Whereas the building will always give you all legitimate spots. So the leveling tool might have said back here, this spot's red because it's a little too far, or it's a little too whatever. But if you've got the building going in that spot, all 25 are always going to be green. I don't think I have what I need to make another hoe, do I? Yeah, one more blade. Rocks over here. Rocks over here. What rocks are we talking about? There's no rocks over here. Those rocks are gone, dude. Alright. We're going to need some different rocks. Blame a guy for hoping. There's the other. Boom, shakalaka. Boom. Shakalaka, boom, boom. Sticks. Give me a stick. Give me a stick. Apparently I've got Kit Kats on the brain right now. Since there are so many of them in front of us, how can I not take this opportunity? Wrong one. 10, 11. Ah, I should have picked up one less. That's alright. I have to min-max everything, right? Wells going. Excellent. Oh, I thought I needed 3 for that. I just used up 1, and there we go. Do the hoe first, then build the well that we didn't really actually need right now. Just, you know, what OCD looks like. Or ADHD, if you will. Combination of those. What am I doing? I'm working on a hoe. Here we go. Boom. And I'm working on 5x stone blades. And can we make any rope? No. Because I put my fiber back here. And she's collected some, so great. We'll grab those. Go ahead and make rope times 25. Get all the rest of that stuff, sticks and in that. Alright, sticks and long sticks. She can gather all of those. Will help because I want to get better tools. I believe that tomorrow night is going to be a blood moon night. First one should consist of a few whites. What Elton John was singing about when he said Saturday night's a white for fighting? Could be. Alright, bad puns. I know that's why you come. Come for the bad puns. Stay for the bad puns. Somewhere head to just going, dude, I was just walking back with sticks, man. What are you doing? You know what? Instead of running back there for sticks every time, let's drop a few long sticks. Let's drop a few small trees over on this side of the farm. Word. Point we can do better axes and pickaxes, and for all that we're gonna need blades. All of those blades that we made, 5 of those. First thing to get be a better pickaxe so that we can produce more stone, so that we can produce more blades. So let's get together a large stone pickaxe. Bingo bango. Here's a huge rock. Let's just chunk down on that. Can't, wheeze. 6 a.m. Day 2 starting any moment. That'll be the end of this episode and the start of the next. Just in time. Head back over to the workshop. Put some stone blades in the storage there. Or at least some stones for the next time. And that'll take us to day 2. Alright. Thanks for coming along for day 1. Day 2 is going to see some more tools getting produced. And now we can actually start to clear some areas for the future buildings, really start to lay down where stuff is going to be in its final, with an asterisk, of course, location. Because, yeah, I've never successfully picked the final location of a building the very first time. I don't think I've ever done that. The very first buildings that go down almost always seem to end up getting demolished and moved. But hopefully this time is going to break the curse. So, this is Ace. I'll see you next episode. I'm out of here.